Hello, everyone. Welcome back and join me as I work in my kitchen during this nap time this afternoon and try to get a couple of things done. And I wanted to spend this time and share some thoughts about time management and how I have been spending a lot of time thinking about this lately and how I choose to spend my time as a wife and a mother and a homemaker, and what I choose to do with the time that I am given. As we all know, the days go by so fast, and the time can just fly by, and we think, man, we didn't have time to get anything done today. But many times the true answer is we did have time to get things done, but we chose to use the time in a different way, so we didn't get the things done. And my life right now, as I have a newborn baby and 4 older children, my time is very much not my own for a good portion of the day. We homeschool, and so that tied in with the baby stuff. I don't have just a lot of time that I get to choose exactly what I'm going to spend my time doing. Most of my time is dictated to me. So then when I have a chance that I am choosing how am I going to spend my time right now, I am finding that I have to continue to remind myself that I need to use this time wisely. Sometimes I can fall into a hole of just thinking that, oh, well, I've been doing stuff for everybody else all day long. This is my time to sit down and do something for me. And usually that just equates into laziness, and it's just me wanting to sit around and do nothing and be lazy. And while sometimes we do need to take a break and relax, I have been very much trying to remind myself that those are the times that I need to choose to use my time wisely. And I have been even thinking about the blessing of the days that we have, that God gives us these 24 hours in a day that we can choose to use however we wish to. And that is such a blessing and such a gift to have those hours to choose to do with them either the things that, we can choose to make good decisions with that time or bad decisions. And right now, I feel like the best decision that I can make with my time, aside from spending time in the scripture or in prayer, is to serve my family. And so that's what I'm going to work on this afternoon. I had just a couple of things I wanted to get started. Like I said, this was during nap time, and my youngest 2 were asleep, so I could get some things done. So I decided to start some sourdough biscuit dough that's going to be made into sausage balls tomorrow morning after this has sat overnight. And then the other thing that I'm going to start is a batch of homemade granola. We're out of granola. And so those 2 things just needed to get done. And I just decided that instead of spending this time taking a nap or sitting and mindlessly scrolling on my phone, I was going to do something productive. And I wanted to share a couple of verses that I was looking at that were talking about not being lazy, about being diligent in our work. And this first one is Proverbs 10:4, and it says, "Poor is he who works with a negligent hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." When we sit around and we do nothing all day, we're always thinking about what we want, what we wish we had. But when we get up and do something and we are productive, we either are accomplishing the goals, and so we're not wishing we had the thing because we do have it, or our priorities are shifted and we see the things that we do have. Our mindset is much better when we are up and moving, and God knows that. Obviously, He made us that way. Another one is Proverbs 13:4. "The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is made fat." And again, when we sit around and do nothing and are lazy or a sluggard, as the scripture says, then we get nothing from it. But when we get up and do something, then we're actually gaining something from life. So those are just some things that I was thinking about. Another one, I always tend to think about the Proverbs 31 woman. Everybody, all the wives want to be a Proverbs 31 wife, and that is such a high calling to be able to work towards that. I don't know that very many of us truly achieve that by all the definitions of it, but it is certainly a guideline. This is what I'm striving for. And it talks about how she's always working. She wakes up before dawn to prepare her household, and she makes sure that everything gets done in a day. And while that doesn't, I don't necessarily think that everybody needs to get up at the crack of dawn and that you should never sleep in, but the concept that we should use our time wisely. God has given us this gift of time. And so sometimes for me, as a busy mom, those moments when I don't have everybody else requiring something of me right then, that's my chance to maybe get ahead a little bit. Maybe I need to go get the kitchen clean so that the next meal that needs to be prepared can be prepared in a clean kitchen. Or maybe I need to go start the next meal so that when we get close to mealtime and kids are fussy, the baby wants to nurse, whatever may pop up, I am not as frazzled. If I find that if I sit around and think, oh, well, I'm just going to take 20 minutes to sit here and relax, and then later on, I'm so frazzled because I'm behind, and I think to myself, if I just would have spent that 20 minutes doing something to get ahead, I might not have gotten the relaxation, but this moment I'm in now would be less stressful. So I would still be getting more relaxation than what I have now because I would have used that time to help me in the future. So that is one thing that motivates me to think ahead. What would my future self wish that I had done with this time that I have right now? Going back to the idea of the Proverbs 31 woman being up before dawn and being awake early to prepare the household, this is something that I believe comes in seasons, because during this past year, much of it I was pregnant, and during pregnancy, you're tired a lot, and at that point, your body needs sleep to do what your body is doing and to grow that human. And so I did not wake up before my family or wake up super early very much during my pregnancy. And I don't during very many of my pregnancies. I usually allow myself to sleep. And now as we are in the newborn phase and I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep at night, again, I am not making myself wake up super, super early to be able to be, up and have everything done before the kids wake up. But in the season of life when my kids are all sleeping through the night and I finally get back to that point again, that is when I will choose to set my alarm for an hour before the kids wake up. And that way I can wake up, I can get dressed for the day. I can make my bed. I can wash my face. I maybe will even be able to get in a 20-minute workout or spend some time reading the scriptures, spending that time just preparing myself so that then when the kids do wake up, I'm ready and I'm happy and I'm ready to greet them and let's do our day. I find that on the days that my husband is at work, when it's just me with the kids, if I allow them to wake me up on a regular basis, then that just kind of puts me in a grumpy mood because I just woke up and they're coming at me with their needs and their wants, and I don't have a good attitude towards filling those needs. And so I find that if even right now with the new baby, I try to wake up about 30 minutes before the kids wake up. And that way I still have that little bit of a buffer time that I can wake up and kind of get my head going before they wake up, and that way I can be pleasant and be ready to greet them, and that little bit of time is enough. This morning I actually only got about 15 minutes before the kids woke up because the baby's nurse schedule was off, and so I ended up sitting there nursing the baby instead of being able to get up and get dressed. But that's okay. The point is that I was still able to be awake before the kids were, and that sets me up for a better day. So again, choosing how we use our time, that for me, sometimes sacrificing a little bit of sleep is helpful. Sleep is important, and it's something that I have to focus on to make sure that helps me be the mom that I need to be and be able to have the kind and loving heart that I need to have towards my children. When I don't get sleep, it is much harder for me to be compassionate. And so I do need to prioritize sleep, but sometimes that little bit is worth it because it makes the difference. So again, choosing to use that time and acknowledging that there are seasons to things. There are going to be seasons when you're really, really able to be productive and get a lot done, take on new tasks. And then there are other times that you just have to live where you are and make the best of it. And again, just acknowledging that God gave us this time. It is a gift. His desire is that we love and serve one another. And so how can I best love and serve those around me in the season and the moment that I am in? And then moving forward with that, whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning, whether it's going and spending time with someone, whatever that may be, looking for that opportunity and then taking it. And so this brings us to the end of our day. This granola had cooled off, and it's just about bedtime, so I'm going to finish putting this away and then get to wind down myself for the evening. It feels really nice when they get these things done and you can look at that container and see that it's full, and yay, in the morning my kids can have this with some yogurt for breakfast, and that makes an easy meal, and it's an easy grab snack if I need it. And then knowing that I can get up tomorrow and finish those sausage balls as well. Just those are the things that end up making life easier. So thank y'all so much for joining me on this. I hope that you found it interesting. Maybe it encouraged you to think about how you use your time each day as a homemaker, and what things you can get done in a fashion after using the time that God has given you the most efficiently. So I appreciate y'all being here, and we will see you next time.